Hey, what up, folks? It's me, Steve. Let me adjust this down here. Alright. Bring this back up. Hey, hey, the Guitar Pit, and yeah, I just got the OBS 2.2 update, and I now actually got the webcam actually fixed properly in the right dimension, and yeah, there's fizz going on because I'm getting interference from the PC in front of me, and also the air conditioning is running behind me, so now it shouldn't be so fizzy. And also, with the OBS, I actually do now have it set up that my mic is getting picked up, that's plugged into the USB. Hopefully once I get a mixer, that's actually going to change, and some of that hum as well will go away. And again, if I turn on certain angles, the hum goes away. Like, I mean, it could be a grounding thing or something in the guitar. But it's crazy like that. Yeah, now I have it that is actually the USB from the Viper. You can hear me talking as well, so I can actually now, if I do a live stream like this, I can actually do both now where I couldn't before. Let's see if that changes when I jump to high gain. Sorry, folks. minute, yeah. Nope. It's a Schecter Damon Elite, and I do believe it is the 8185s, yeah. I had traded away my DBZ Imperial FM for this guitar, so I got to actually have my first experience with EMGs, and in the end, I kind of am a little bit more comfortable with these kind of Strat style guitars. The guitar is like extremely heavy. Hey Johnny, it's the latest version, OBS 2.201 64-bit for Windows, and I think I'm starting to understand OBS a bit better. I don't know if it's maybe because I'm actually could be also the update as well too. From what I was watching of the video earlier, they actually worked something in the 2.1 version, so this 2.2 fixed that issue and a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, in your office, yeah. When you're talking about office guitar pit, you're talking about like the fluorescent, like LED tube crap. That type of lighting, yeah, that stuff is just terrible. So again, I'm trying not to talk super loud, even though I got headphones on, and hopefully I'm talking just loud enough while being about, I think I'm about 3-4 feet away from the microphone. And the biggest issue with this guitar, the guitar pit, is the electronics inside. It's all soldered. It's the solder method, and I really am considering trying to get an actual wiring kit. A home office, but I have 3 computers, 4 monitors, a ceiling fan, a bunch of LED lights. It's a bad guitar seat. Yeah, no doubt. That's why usually when you do your computer thing, you usually bury it under your desk in a case or something, like in a desk with like a really good, like 1 or 2 inch thick sides to it inside. I know that's probably my biggest issue, and if I could get a longer USB cord, I would probably consider moving the amp either totally out of the way, or maybe off where I got my guitars here over on this side hidden, or move my computer further away. Ultimately, the other problem as well too is right behind me back over here is our furnace / central air, so I get additional humming noise as well when that kicks on. So that's why initially when I started the stream, it was making a lot of hum and fizz. So just briefly to talk about what I have set up in the OBS software on my computer right now, I should be doing, you should be seeing 1080p 60 FPS output. I have the webcam set for 1080 output. I have video capture, of course, set up for the webcam. I have the actual mic that I bought running into the sound card. I have that being captured right now through one audio input capture and the USB of the Viper I have set as another capture. Let me, because I do know it was kind of a little bit loud, let me try to bring the level back on the guitar a bit, because I noticed when I went to high gain there it was just like screaming. So let me, let's see, let me take 10 dB off and see if this sounds any better. Sounds a bit better, and it looks like it's not red zoning as much now, so yeah, the only thing I can do there, is turn up the little gain on the actual mic itself until I get a proper thing. And again, I'm like 3-4 feet away as well too, so can't do much about that. Johnny is the mic on that's on your headphones. No, Johnny. Despite this being a set of Sennheiser PC350s that has one of the best mics on it, I've had this set of headphones for 6 years, so I knew eventually the mic was going to go, and just as I bought this mic, oddly enough, the mic in the headset went. But still, to think that I paid like $200 at the time for these headphones, and I've been able to use them daily, and the mic just finally went on them after 6 years. And the only thing I've had to do with them, honestly, was put a different set of pads on it, because I wasn't going to pay $60 for a set of replacement pads for it. Listen to that weird sound. Change it to a different sound. this too, the way this grounding is. If I actually take the tone control and roll it totally off like it is now, there's no grounding issue. But see, as soon as I roll it back in, there's grounding, there's humming. So I can only draw the conclusion that it's actually the pot. It's the pot. See, even as I roll the mic or the volume pot, maybe there's something in the pots, but either way it looks like I'm gonna have to probably gonna have to get new pots. Hey Eric, you're actually still up? I figured you'd be in bed by now. So I'm just testing out the OBS and getting it set up that I can have it both for gaming and streaming on here. Oh. Let's see here. What games do you play? For what it's worth, I think it's streaming at 30 frames per second. YouTube reports 60 frames per second, but it might be doubling up frames because the video looks about 30, I'd say. Well, the Logitech C920 that I have only does a maximum 30 frames per second, but I do actually have it set for as many frames as possible, so I mean, it shouldn't be looking like I'm going well, hopefully at least. Trying to think. I'm probably gonna have to set this up also better for a game capture as well, because I would like to do some actual streaming to YouTube, some of my gaming. So let's see. Yeah, no problem, Eric. The fact that I was actually still awake was also good. I'm trying to get my sleep schedule around. I'm hoping not to stay up till 2 again in the morning. But with the way my back is here. Thanks to Guitar Pit. Sleep well. Positioning on my vibrato. I'm sure there's certain fans out there stalking me right now, I'd bet. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, you were mentioning that Eric, were you actually recording that as well too when you were just jamming out there after the show? See now. Nope, I wish. As it was insane, and when I do record, it will suck. Hey John Doe. Quentin James, why is slow mode on? Never seen that. Let me just turn that down. Ugh. So the thing is, if you've ever gone into hey Shane, good morning or good afternoon. I think it's morning there. Or is it night? I can't remember now. Quentin James, the reason why slow mode is enabled, just because the simple fact, say when you have a bunch of people on, if you've ever gone into not so much TTK's live streams, but if you've gone into Robert Baker's streams, like I said, when I first asked to volunteer, like when I volunteered the mod for him, hey Mitch, when I volunteered the mod for him, like literally the side chat was just tons of textual garbage. Quest Bendy. Hey Quest Bendy. You should play Five Finger Death Punch, Wrong Side of Heaven. I wish I was that capable. I'm definitely not that capable of playing guitar. But you never know. I might try to actually learn and such. Getting back to what I was saying, Quentin, about the slow mode. Slow mode is so that every time you have a bunch of people, putting a bunch of messages all at once, they're trying to spam the chat. Oh, okay. Yes, that's what I was saying, Eric, and that slow modes to prevent the spamming the chat, and it also helps for people when they're actually individually doing their own modding themselves. Let's see if I can get the stream options here. You can have it slow it down. You can control it better. Let's see here. Add delay. Now, I don't know if I can actually get into the disable the slow mode unless I can do it in here. Ah, yes, chat settings, enable slow mode. Okay, automatically block spam messages, enable live chat. Alright, slow mode should be disabled now. Okay, put this up. Yes, exactly, Quentin. That's another thing too. Like 900 people. Yeah, and it's like I said, like I've said numerous times to various people. Yes, I have it off now, Quentin. I found top of the chat for the actual mod when he has the software up for in the web browser, the Live Dash. In the top of the chat, there's a little control wheel, and I can enable and disable live chat. I can enable the slow mode. I can limit it to one message per minute, or like every 10 seconds. The automatic block spam message. When you add words to your blacklist in your actual YouTube profile on your actual page, it actually, when you enable the automatic block spam messages option, it actually will take them. Hi John, and yes, this is actually the again my system, which is again the Ryzen 5 2600X. Yeah, you can just do it the simple way, Quentin, which is just open it up in a web browser, and you'll see up along the top, it'll say upload a video, and it'll also say go live, and it'll put you through like a, it'll look for your mic, it'll look for your camera, ask you to put a title in it, blah blah blah, and then do an actual live stream that way. That's how I was doing it previously. Like I said, this is the first time running the OBS 2.2 that just came out yesterday, and now that I've actually had some time to watch some folks how they do it and mess around with it myself, I'm kind of getting the idea on how to set it up properly. Back to what I was saying, John. Yes, it's an AMD Ryzen 2600X, which means it has higher clock speed. So it gives a base clock from let's see now, runs base clock 3.6 gigahertz with the XFR technology enabled. It will boost up to 4.2 gigahertz across all cores and threads, 16 gigs of DDR4 3000 megahertz memory. The no, you won't, Quentin. A ASRock Fatal One, I believe it's Gaming M4 ATX motherboard based on the AMD B450 chipset. And the key as well to this getting like really good frames in that and performance is the fact that, again, I have the really fast Samsung 970 Evo drive that just has like, it's like 3 point, so it'll do reads up to 3.7 gigahertz a second, or gigabytes per second I should say, and reads, or sorry, writes up to, I think it's 2.3 gigabytes per second. So the throughput is really the key, combined as, of course, I have 15 meg upload on cable with 150 meg down, so yes, M.2 inch. So I got tons of bandwidth now. That was my biggest problem before, was not having the internal bandwidth in the computer to actually render nicely, like nice video and decent sound. So, like, that has to do with the sound card. When I was using the mic on the headset, it was really good, like Shane had said. Like I said, I did try to use the mic again, but the mic's been dead now for like 6 months. Actually, yes, John Doe, it actually has 2 slots. There's one slot above the video card slot, and another one down by the chipset's heatsink. It's got, let's see what else, 6 USB 3.0 headers, and I think 2 USB 2.0. It's got 4 main serial ATA ports, 2 more additional secondary ones based on an add-on chip. It doesn't have the nice Intel NIC on it, but it's got the latest Realtek Gigabyte NIC. I'm trying to think what else. It's got also I think it's got Realtek, a newer Realtek audio chip that's augmented by Creative Labs, but it's like, yeah, I don't bother with onboard sound. Like I said, I got a Sonar, Asus Sonar, spelled XONAR DX sound card, which is PCI Express 1 times self-powered, so forth. Okay, let's see here. Quentin, I have a Logitech C920. Yeah. Do I need to plug in a set of headphones and or a headset / mic? I was on Eric's live stream, but my laptop mic seemed to work just fine. Yes, Quentin. Eric's live stream? I don't remember that one. Anyways, your laptop mic would work fine. The only time that might be an issue is with the issue would be the onboard speakers could actually feedback through the laptop's chassis into your mic. Beyond that, usually it's good to have headphones. That way it separates the mic and there's no kind of conflicting issues like that. The actual Logitech C920 mic itself does actually have mics on the left and right in the front, but again, stupidly, stereo mics, stereo mono. It should have stereo sound, but it only comes out in mono, which is like a big downfall for it. Yeah, like Eric says, you can get away with the Logitech built-in mic. The newer Logitech, was it? They call it 4K Pro Omni, which Steve had. Steve, aka Pixelix. I thought he had it at one point in time. But he had it, and the mic on it is a better mic, and of course it does 30 frames per second 4K resolution. The benefit of it though is when you're actually just doing standard 1080p, you can actually do 60 frames per second 1080p. Yeah, John, the Blue Yeti is it's good for what it is, but I mean, when you actually figure in a Blue Yeti is the cost of a 2-channel DI box and a cheap mic, it's not worth it. Like I said, I'm hoping in October. Yes, John, that actually is true. The Audio-Technica AT2020 is also a very good mic as well. Yeah, you're right, Eric. Like, Steve, as far as I know, he actually has fiber, where he is in Boston, and he actually has 100 up, 100 down megs, and he could probably do 4K, but I mean, the reality is there's still so few people out there that would adopt to 4K. It would be a really limited audience, though the encoder for YouTube would actually probably handle it fine. So like I said, you're better off with a DI box. Like I said, I'm looking at the Behringer Euphoria 404 HD. Quinn James. Yeah, for to do uploads like this as well too, you need minimum 5 megs up. If you got if you got like a meg or two or anything like that, you won't be able to upload at any type of higher resolution. When when you have about 5 to 10 megs, you can actually do 1080p streaming decently. Or otherwise, though, you do a solid 720p stream. See, like right now, and I'm looking in my OBS is bottom right hand corner. I'm right now doing to the YouTube feed 6,125 KB per second. I'm actually utilizing 2% of my CPU's cores and speed, and I've dropped 0 frames since, and broadcasting at 60 frames per second. Another thing I noticed too, that I'm hopefully, by trying to stream or be video wise better, is to hopefully improve my little bit of a droop here I have in my mouth. Yeah, it sounds about right, Quentin. When I upgraded to 10 meg upload, I mean, like a 5-minute video to upload to YouTube would be like I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I mean, like a 5-minute video that I would record would only take me like 2 minutes to upload. Anyways, yeah, the little bit of drooping I have on the side here, I've only publicly said maybe a few times to some people, but the reason why I have that is mid to, I think it was about 2003, 2004, I went to bed, everything felt fine. I woke up the next morning and my face started to droop, so luckily enough, when I noticed it, it got worse. The second day I went up to the hospital, and I ended up having Bell's palsy, so I don't know if I had a stroke in my sleep or whatnot, but since then, I've been left with a little bit of a slope still, even though I've actually was able to recover from it quickly. Mitch, second TV in a month. I lost HDMI port tonight because of lighting. How would lighting affect the failure of an HDMI port? I'm not sure. But yeah, there's lots of, getting back to like what I was saying about the going like the Blue Yeti or the Audio-Technica AT2020 USB, like especially, yeah, thanks Eric, yeah, me too. Again, I've had 2 battles with major weight gain, like I said, one time over 400, one time under 400 because of my depression, and in the second case it was basically I was rooming and boarding in a place I couldn't properly eat, so it kind of got out of hand. It may have been a little bit of depression. That's why I keep saying, oh, power surge. Yeah, that's that's crappy, Mitch. Like I said, that's why depression is such a crappy thing, and like I always say to people, to fight it, and you know, don't let it give in to you, because you know it not only does it mentally do damage to you, possibly affects other people, but physically, it's like I said, a certain individual always trying to make fun of my pouch. It's like I'd like to see them gain, you know, 300 and some pounds or 300 pounds quickly because of depression and, you know, binging or whatever, and then lose that weight and see how they would look, you know. That's such a big problem in society, is that, you know, everybody, whether they're sane or not, yes, exercise is a good one, as well as exercise in another area is also very good for battling depression. But we won't go there. But yeah, I mean, you know, people can't get better if people don't encourage people to, you know, fight it or go get treatment. I know there's a lot of people that don't get treatment, and then I know people that actually, if they hadn't gotten treatment, they wouldn't be around here anymore because of how bad it was. But no, I'm doing pretty good so far here. On the verge of 50 minutes. 7 of you watching. I know I'm not playing much, but I mean, answering questions and talking and whatnot, so, you know, it's all good. Getting back to the computer thing, I already noticed, like I said, the multitasking. If I flip from the main screen here over to the secondary one on the old system, there was like substantially a I think there was a good 1 millisecond delay. Now it's all instantaneous. I can flip through to like all the web browsers or apps or anything. Thanks, John. You as well. And yeah, it's a struggle at times, especially when I do part-time care for my mother, having to help her at times, going through my own stuff, and you know, trying to help her through her stuff, and then having to deal with her trying to think that, you know, like, I'm a perfect, like, 12-year-old kid with no issues, and it's like, no, I'm 45, I've had concussions, I've been hit by a car, you know, I've had various medical conditions and things happen to me, like, throughout my lifetime, and, you know, it's not easy. Some days I think she gets it and understands it, and other days, just however she is, but, you know, gotta help. That's how I was raised to be, you know. A lot of things, you know, one of the things I've said in previous videos is that, you know, you really shouldn't be too, well, how could I put it? Some people say, like, well, you shouldn't be too personal and talking about things personally too much, and it's like, I agree with something, you know, I agree with some ways in how some people say that, like, I agree with that sentiment, but also think at the same time, I think when you allow yourself to actually be able to express, I think that's a very big thing as well, like in the way people get to know you better, people can relate to you better, It's just better. And same thing as like I've said about being, you know, watching what you say online, because sometimes it can come back to bite you in that, as long as you're open and honest and sincere, let whatever come back and, bite you. But I mean, if you say something, you back it up, That's how, that's how it was back in the day. Not whereas like nowadays it's like, you can talk however the hell you want, tell people off, and all this stupid crap that goes on nowadays that people do, and you don't get that. You don't have that, ability of where there's like any respect period thrown around to people. And it's sad in that regard. I still remember back when I started my own involvement on the internet back around 96. They had statistically did a stat where they said, how many people actually use their real names online. And back then, that stat was like 90% of people never used their real name. They used a fake alias or fake name. So that was back then, and I think they had did a recent study back around 2010 it was, and they said that that number has drastically dropped to now maybe about 60% of the public will actually still use a fake alias or fake name rather than their real name. Yeah, Mitch, that sucks. Like I said, Eric, Shane, and quite a few others, do a great job of trying to put out a more positive message. Ben from Canucks with Guitars as well too. Positive message. There's no need for this negativity to be on YouTube, and for some reason YouTube keeps allowing these negative troll accounts and trolly like individuals to remain online. I just don't understand why. And as I've said to them numerous times, they need to actually they really need to go through and prosecute people. And it is starting to happen down the States, and I'm hoping that it occurs, because the States and some other countries are doing so, are starting to actually put laws in place where people are getting prosecuted. This is things that they should have been doing way back in early 2000. Prevent a lot of this crap going on that has been going on. Yeah, you're right. Um, yeah, Mitch, and the worst part, there's a lot of society that is being bred or made to think of, you know, being fat is, wrong or, you know, as a negative thing. And it's like, yeah, some people, they can't, they unfortunately can't control their weight issue. Other people, they actually can. But, people don't realize that, bitching at somebody about their weight isn't necessarily going to help them lose it. It's so glitchy, this slice of metal patch. Sounds like the electronics in your guitar messed up. Oh, your toggle switch is messed up. Hey, Chad. I'm surprised you're not gone to bed yet. But then again, no. With all the stuff you do. Chad, I haven't really dabbled. Like, I'm not a long-time user of OBS 2.2. I've only been kind of messing around with it the last about 3 or so weeks, based on what I've used over the previous version and what they've improved in it so far. Yes, because it was a lot easier for me to actually set this up. So if you have it, it's probably a good idea to upgrade to it. Alright, Mitch. Have a good sleep. Yeah, no problem, Eric. Have a good sleep. Have a good sleep. Your lips are in sync too. Well, that probably also is helped by my computer hardware upgrade. Because I'm now running a AMD Ryzen 5 2600X, which is a 6-core 12-thread processor on a newer motherboard. It's based on the AMD 450 chipset. I'm also running 16 gigs of DDR4 3000 megahertz RAM, and most importantly, also running a M.2 MVNE drive. That's a Samsung 970 Evo, 500 gig, which has a read speed of up to 3200 megs per second, and a write speed up to, I think, 23 or 2400 writes per second. So there's tons of bandwidth, and so that also with the OBS, I've got it all figured out, and right now I'm running just under I'm running between 6267 and 5600 KB/S, so I'm getting, I guess, like a full good stream. I'm getting maximum 1080 scaling, so it's probably helping a lot. And there's actually better motherboards, and there is 2 steps up of processors above mine that are actually 8-core 16-thread. But again, the price difference is my processor cost 290 Canadian. I think they go for about 240 US. The US has better prices on computer components. The only 2 others above it that have more cores and more threads in them are in the, I think they're in the 340 US range for the non-X version. And but yeah, basically the more cores and threads, as well as the more RAM and the more RAM speed combined with the M.2 drive, it all interworks into giving you more bandwidth. The more bandwidth you have, the more you can do audio wise, and you can also do it video wise as well too. And that's just not even the streaming. Like, this is, you can do this on like the 4-core 8-thread version of this, of the Ryzen chips, the Ryzen 3 series. Even their ones with the integrated graphics are still capable of doing this stuff relatively easy. If that's all you want to do is just stream like this, have decent resolution and whatnot. But I mean, if you actually want to have the ability to, you know, do your audio mixing or audio editing and recording and your video as well, like, this is, you know, that's what you want to do. Is you want to build one of these systems that have 8 cores, 16 threads. You want to have like 32 gigs of like DDR4 3600 memory. That'll also provide more bandwidth, and yeah, with the Intel stuff, like, I mean, again, like I was saying in one of my previous videos, Intel right now is behind the ball. Like, at least, you know, if you actually build an AMD Ryzen system right now, you know that the motherboard and everything else on it is, you know, compatible and is going to be in existence until 2020. Which AMD will put out processors when they put out, I think they've got 2 or 3 more generations of processors that'll be supported by this platform. And literally all you'll have to do is do a BIOS flash, put the new chip in, and you're golden. Whereas Intel, if Intel puts out a new chip, they usually force you to buy a new motherboard and new chip. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to do that with the AMD. You can actually buy a mainstream board like I have and still be able to upgrade it after the fact. Yep, good night for anyone that is going to sleep or has been going to sleep. Yeah, thanks for dropping by, Shane. Sorry, I can't be more entertaining. But again, this was only supposed to be a test stream. Hour and 12 minutes. Alright, again, thanks everyone for stopping by. I'm going to end this now, and, everyone have a good night, good morning, wherever you are, and I will catch you later. Bye for now.